Hi everyone, so today we are talking all about ChatGPT and the color analysis that ChatGPT does. And so, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these videos around the internet, and I wanted to sort of assess whether or not ChatGPT is really doing a good color analysis or whether it's doing a color analysis at all. So let's just get into it. I think the people who know me probably know what I think about this, but first of all, I think it's just beyond. I actually think it's beyond that anybody would think that that ChatGPT does color analysis, okay? It's not called Color Analysis GPT for a reason, and we're going to get into all of that right now. Okay, so I did do a test, I told ChatGPT my skin color, my eye color, my hair color, and everything like that. And, it told me that it's warm, that I'm warm, which is fine. I'm cool toned, okay? But I really was not expecting much, and I actually did another test as well. So here it told me that I'm warm toned and that I am an autumn, which again, I'm not, but I'm confused how, this is the thing. I can keep trying to feed a color analysis app or a color like ChatGPT information until I get my correct color type. But I already know my correct color type. So what are you supposed to do if you don't know your correct color type? That's my question. Anyway, so I used this photo. It's not very flattering, but it's in daylight. You can see that's like my real skin color. That's really what I look like in real life. And that's just what I look like. And so, I used the color dropper to input these values again into ChatGPT. And again, I said, would you please tell me my color season? My skin color is this, and etc., right? And then it tells me, and I was like, oh, interesting. It tells me, based on the information you provided, I have my laptop here, I'm reading what you guys are seeing on the screen. Based on the information you provided, it seems like you have some cool toned features. Let's break it down. And I was like, well, look at this, like, not half bad. I do have cool toned features on a lot of, because I have an olive skin tone, a lot of color analysis apps and things like that will place me into warm, which is like, it is what it is, okay? But I kind of know that already because I've tried them before. I will try them from time to time, and they still suck, okay? They're still not great. But anyway, so then I'm like, wow, well, look at this, cool tone features, like, this is hopeful. And then it goes on to say, let's break it down. Skin color. This color suggests a warm undertone, but it's not extremely warm, it's somewhat neutral, could fit multiple seasons. Okay. Eye color. Your eye color is a dark brown, typically suggestive of warmth, but might align more with a warm color season. Hair color also lean towards warm tones. So where are my cool toned features then? Like, do you guys understand? I mean, this is why it's called ChatGPT. It's not called Color Analysis GPT. What it is doing is it's chatting with you. It's a chat bot, right? A very advanced one at that, for sure, okay? But it is only talking to you like a color analyst. It's funny because I actually saw a video of someone, I watched a lot of these videos of people doing a color analysis by ChatGPT, and I actually have not seen anyone get a cool color season. Now, I don't know why that is, and I don't even know if that's, I personally have not seen, I think I've watched like 5 or 6 people, and everyone has gotten warm. Everyone gets a warm result, even people who look cool. They're like hands down cool. Cool. They're cool. They're whatever. Whichever way you want to spin them, they're cool. They're a winter. They are cool and radiant. They are high contrast. Whatever it is that's going to make anyone place someone into cool, they are cool. And I'm going to get into this later in the video as well. But, they're being placed into warm by ChatGPT. So using this color dropper method. So that really makes me wonder in general, okay? If you use the color dropper method and you manage to get a cool result, like a cool color season or something, then let me know, because I'm sure that if you tried hard enough, maybe you can get it. But did I try very hard? No. Okay, I didn't try very hard, but I think I tried hard enough, okay, to say that it's definitely biased toward warm, especially also like just seeing how many people got a warm result. People who are actually warm got a warm result, and people who are very cool toned by all standards got a warm result as well. So it just seems like it always gives autumn or spring to people for some reason. I don't know why. So anyway, so this is odd. It's like it's just saying things that don't even make any sense. You have some cool toned features, but actually the 3 features that you gave me information on, your skin, your eyes, and your hair, are all warm. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense, you guys. It's a chat bot. It's not actually doing any sort of color analysis that makes any real sense. And I think that, you really don't even have to be a color analyst to assess this, because if anybody reads this, they will know, like, that doesn't make any real sense. You see what I mean? So just learning how to converse like a color analyst. It's learning how to chat like a color analyst. It's not a color analyst, okay? Okay, so yeah, considering the combination, more toward warm color season, probably autumn or possibly spring. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, so then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's like what if I ask it some questions, ask ChatGPT some questions. Thank you very much. I have an olive skin undertone. Do you think this could make me seem warmer than I actually am? Yes, absolutely. Like, of course. Because what would a color analyst say? It's like, but at some point, of course, it's kind of like, well, if a color analyst would say this, then what's the difference, right? It's like, what's the difference? At some point, if you're pretending to be a color analyst well enough, you are a color analyst. Do you see what I mean? So I can understand that. And I want to take this moment to say that there is no reason at all to think that AI could not do color analysis just as well as a human could do it. I don't think that there's any reason at all to think that. What I'm saying here is that ChatGPT is not even close, okay? It's not even trained on images it's an AI model, right? So it's a neural network. And so it's training on a lot of the text that it sees online. It's just going everywhere and just learning how to speak to people and how to be similar to a human, right? And how to talk similarly to a human. And so it has a lot of information available to it on how to talk like a human, but I'm pretty sure it was never trained to do color analysis. The way that this works is if you want AI to do color analysis, you have to train it to do color analysis, not just to speak like a color analyst, but to actually do the color analysis. So there's that. So then I was like, what is even going on here? So then okay, whatever. So autumn colors like olive greens and warm burgundies look heavy on me. Why do you think this is? Hint, it's because I'm actually cool toned, and then it says all these things which are fair. So all of these things are fair to say. These are not bad things to say, to be clear. It's just that it is not getting the color season correct, right? Okay, so I thought about what in the world is going on. So I was like, okay, listen, can you tell me my color season? My skin color is turquoise, my eye color is purple, and my hair color is blue. And this was kind of fun because I thought it would be like, well, you're a spring again, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was like saying, actually, like, you sound like a fantasy character. You have to tell me your actual like skin color and eye color and hair color for me to be able to assess your color season, which I thought was great. And then I said, oh, I'm sorry, my skin color is tan, my hair is brown, and my eyes are blue. See, like, I literally only told it this, right? My skin color is tan. Like, what does tan mean? Warm tan? Cool tan? What do you mean tan? If you tell any color analyst, my skin color is tan, my hair color is brown, and my eyes are blue, I guess they would probably have to say you're cool toned because your eyes are blue, like from that very limited information, but not even. You really can't even tell that you're cool toned. Even if your eyes are blue, you can still easily, even in the seasonal approach, be a spring or something, which is a very warm season. So anyway, so I mean, there's no information that I actually gave ChatGPT here. I want to be clear. Saying my skin color is tan, my hair is brown, and my eyes are blue is literally giving no information. And what does ChatGPT say? you likely have warm undertones, again, right? Here's a general guide complemented by your color season. Yeah. So again, I have warm undertones. No matter what, it seems like I have warm undertones, okay? And I did manage, oh yeah, you have a warm color season. This is what it told me. General guide to color. Yeah, you're probably an autumn or a spring yet again. Okay, so that's kind of, disappointing, because that really just kind of goes to show like how transparent it is, that it's really not actually doing anything. It's just talking, like it's a chatbot. It's talking in a convincing way, like it's a color analyst. Yeah, so which you guys, anyway, so now we have Zooey Deschanel. Zooey Deschanel is cool toned. Everyone under the sun thinks she's cool toned. Her eyes are like icy blue, okay? Her hair is cool. Her skin is cool. Everything on her is cool. And that's why I chose her. And I chose a photo of her where the lighting is cool. Everything is as cool as can be. It's a very cool colored photo. And from this photo alone, you can never tell color type from one photo alone, but what you can do is you can tell the color type that the person appears to be in the photo. And he or she appears to be a winter, maybe a clear winter, cool and radiant, everything cool. I think you guys get the idea. And so I used this as a test because I was like, look, I'm olive, like what, maybe, that's not really fair. Like, let's just go in with Zooey Deschanel. She's, just also like her ethnicity obviously is like, pretty much, she appears to be white to me, so like that's what color, like the seasonal approach has been based on. So nothing sort of like out of the ordinary, I guess you could call it, which is, it's actually not out of the ordinary to be a different ethnicity, but for the seasonal approach historically, whatever, let's not get into that. Anyway, so the point is that I chose someone who would be just a very easy example. That's the point. Yeah, so I went in again, and I have to say, like, I tried to use different computers and different, like, browsing sessions and things like that to do this, just in case there's some, like, what would you call it, hysteresis, like something historical, like it knows, or ChatGPT knows, like, oh, well, I typed you autumn before, so I'm going to type you autumn again. I did try to use different browsers and things like that, different computers, like having my friends kind of like a family member or something do this stuff too. So anyway, so, hi, would you please tell me my color season? Okay, so I gave, again, this is now Zooey Deschanel's colors from that one photo. What a surprise. Deep autumn, you guys. If you look like Zooey Deschanel, please do not wear deep autumn colors. Actually, if you look like Zooey Deschanel, I would recommend that you don't even stand next to a literal tree in the autumn. Like, that's how cool toned you are. Like, don't take any photos next to a tree in the autumn. Just go out in winter and take some of your photos. You know what I mean? Like, doing a photo shoot outside. Don't even go outside in autumn. I'm just kidding. Obviously, still live your life. But, like, that's how bad you look in warm colors, in these earth tones. Like, you look so bad. If you are a winter, if you're a cool toned, bright and cool person, you look so bad in warm toned colors. It's just completely inexcusable for anyone to ever type you warm. Okay, so anyway, ChatGPT, inexcusable. So anyway, deep autumn. Wow, okay. Okay, so that brings me to this. Oh, I want to say one more thing before I get into this. Okay, so I did go to ChatGPT and I said, my hair color, my skin is tan, my eyes are blue, which, whatever, no one cares, right? That doesn't tell you anything about someone's color season ever. But then I said, my hair color is ash blonde, and it put me into summer. Okay, and so why? Because it is training on text. So it looks around the internet and it trains on text, and all the text that it sees on all of the color analysis websites. And what do the color analysis websites say? That if you have ash blonde hair, you're more likely to be a summer. So it did type me a summer when I told it that I have ash blonde hair. So there is that. So, but that also goes to show, again, it is not it's training on the text. It's training on all the text that it's reading. It's not training on actually doing color analysis, if that makes sense. Again, it told me I have cool toned features, and then when you actually read the rest of its statement, it said all three features that I gave it information on are warm. Like, it's not actually really doing anything that is deeper than just appearing to do color analysis, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's kind of the first part of this video. And the next part of this video is like, I think, okay, first of all, that you can get, everyone's so excited. And the reason why I had to make this video, you guys, I was going to leave it alone. Okay, I was going to leave it alone. I was going to leave it the F alone. Okay, I wasn't going to say anything. All right. But it kept coming up, and what really prompted me to make the video was all the positive comments underneath these videos that are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, you saved me $100 on my color analysis. Like, what are the standards here? Okay, because I can save you $100 on your color analysis right now. You can go and just look up into the sky and just ask yourself, what is my color type? And then you can receive an arbitrary answer from your own mind, and you can be all set, and it'll be free. And then you can waste hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or potentially thousands of dollars, on all these ugly, like, whatever. Anyway, colors that don't look good on you. Okay, so you can ask a squirrel what your color type is, Wow, thank you so much, you saved me $100. Like, okay. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. It's not so much, it's like... Yeah, I think I made my point. Just because it appears that you're getting a color analysis doesn't mean that you actually are. There are a lot of good color analysts out there. There really are, and you can get typed pretty well. Even if they're using the seasonal approach, some people do a good job. I don't use the seasonal approach when I do my color analysis, like with my clients. I don't use the seasonal approach because I found it to be limited. I kind of have more of a method of determining the colors. Like, there are 4 broad categories that I use, and then I kind of narrow down from there. I'm thinking to make a video explaining how I do things, but yeah. So anyway, even if somebody's using a seasonal approach, sometimes color analysts can really be quite good, and sometimes they really are not that. Really, in my opinion, they're really, really, really not that good, and that's a part of why I started making these videos kind of a while ago now, and kind of talking about all of these subjects. Anyway, let's get into this, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? It's one thing if you're like, oh, you're doing your makeup and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I found a way to get a color analysis for free. Like, that's all well and good, that's fine. Like, that's nice. And I think that people need to come out, like, people who have experience in tech, or people who have experience in color analysis need to come out and really say, like, this is really not working, this is really not something that works. Yeah, and, but then what happens is, I've seen some people who actually work in tech who are saying that this is like a valid thing to do. I mean, this is really inexcusable, you guys. Like, if you work in tech, you really, really should know better. You really have no business working in anything close to any sort of field in AI if you believe that this is actually working. And that's really unfortunate that anybody would say something like that. And on a more serious note, that if you have a serious position and you are, I mean, I haven't seen anyone with a serious position say that this works, but as far as I know, but just people who have kind of alluded to, working in tech or something, in some of their other videos will say, like, oh, or like they do like tech reviews and they're like, you can do a color analysis with, ChatGPT. No, you cannot, okay? And if you think that you can, I would really try to reassess what it is that you think you understand about AI and what it is that you think you understand about ChatGPT, because it is not something that is actually doing what you think it's doing, right? And so I'm going to get into this now and try to explain it from this perspective as well. So if you're only interested in color analysis, you're not really interested in how, if you're not interested in the rest of this video, it's just going to be a little bit more technical in a way, maybe, whatever, that's fine. But we're going to talk about this anyway. So here's what's happening with ChatGPT, right? It's getting 3 inputs out of a color dropper, which are just color values. And yes, we have sort of like sanitized the data as much as we can by taking like a photo in daylight or this and that. But the problem is that no color analyst can actually tell from just 3 colors, 3 color dropper colors, what someone's color type is. What the human eye is doing is a lot more complicated than that. And we know that from all of these different, like, for example, you guys remember like a decade ago now, there was that dress that appeared to be different colors based on how someone saw it. There is a lot of processing. That's kind of like the edge case of what our brain does, what our eye does to assess the overall color of something, right? But we do that all the time with all kinds of different photos to get a more accurate result of what it actually is in real life. We do a lot of processing on top of an entire photo with our brains to get an accurate result of what a color actually is. So this is an example of this, right? So you can see here that, so what is this? It's an optical illusion, right? It's called like the checkerboard illusion or something. And you can see that A and B is in the shadow of this thing, and A is kind of like in the light. And then actually the illusion is this, that A and B are actually the same color. Okay. And what happens here is that a lot of people will say, oh, well, thank God we have computers to tell us that A and B are actually the same color. Look at that. Our eye was fooled. Our eye was fooled, okay? But the truth of the matter is that our eye actually saw this correctly, in the sense that if this were a photo and if this were real life and if you were to go to this scene, A and B would be different colors. So our eye is fooled in a way, but it's not actually, because what we're doing is we're seeing, what is it? It's like the forest for the trees or something. We're actually assessing it correctly. Like the first image where, like, if this was in real life and you would say, well, B is basically light gray or white and A is dark gray, you would be correct. And this is the problem with giving AI inputs or giving a computer inputs, just like two inputs, because the correct answer is actually what we would imagine it to be, right? Like the correct answer is, if this were a setup in real life, A and B would be different colors, like on top. And it's the same way with color analysis, right? So with color analysis, your eye, no matter who you are, if you're a color analyst, if you're everybody else or anywhere in between, your eye is doing something a lot more complicated to everything to process the colors of what you're seeing than simply taking 3 color dropper values. And so that's why you can never really train, a part of, right, you could say, well, in the ideal case, you should be able to tell someone's color season from just 3 color dropper values. And in principle, I agree with you. You should be able to. But the problem is that to arrive at those values, like, that is the process. You see, that is the difficult part. How do you know that the data that you are giving, those 3 values, the skin color swatch, the eye color swatch, and the hair color swatch, in the actual, what is it, like the hexadecimal or something like that value of the color? Maybe that's not what it's called, but if you're like that code that you're feeding it, if you are confident that those colors are completely accurate, that's actually the case of, like, me as a color analyst feeding it values that I think are correct. And even still, in that case, ChatGPT was wrong. You see, even when I fed it values, like from Zooey Deschanel's photo, where everything was, as far as I could see, the most correct it could possibly be, it still was wrong, okay? And Zooey Deschanel is not a controversial case. She is just typed cool tone by everyone. Okay, so it is a question of that kind of processing that ChatGPT is not doing. There is no problem at all with AI eventually doing color analysis and doing it accurately and doing it just as well as a human. The problem is that to do it as accurately as a human, it will need full photos. It is not going to take 3 color dropper values and glean from it something that cannot be determined from that. You see, it's just like an impossibility. It's not really given enough data to even to tell a color type, because again, to see how the person appears overall, to actually judge what a color really is from a photo, like in this case, like in this illusion, we need the full context, right? Because ChatGPT would say A and B are the same color, but we know if this was like a real life photo, A and B are not the same color, you see? And so if you give something color dropper values, we're going to have errors that are similar to this. similar to what's happening in this illusion, right? So that's kind of the explanation there. I have nothing against AI. I think it's a great thing. I think it's amazing that we have AI, and I hope that, it's going to just make our lives easier and better, and I hope it makes society better. But the thing is that it's just not there yet right now. And certainly ChatGPT is not doing it. Certainly with 3 inputs of a color dropper, ChatGPT is not giving you your color type. No color analyst can do that. So, like, why would ChatGPT, who is an AI training on the color analyst's data that is just straight out across the internet, why would ChatGPT be able to do that if a color analyst can't? You see, it can only ever be as good as the color analysts are. Even still, it's not actually training on the same data, it's just training to chat like them. You see, it's training to chat like color analysts. Even with that, you see, it's like there's just a lot of failure points to ChatGPT being able to do color analysis. A lot of failure points between it not even actually doing the color analysis at all, like I showed at the beginning of the video, just acting like it's doing it. And then also, even if it were doing it, even if it were doing color analysis, giving it 3 color dropper values is just not enough. Okay, and if it were, you would actually need another AI to try to determine from actual photos what are the accurate color dropper values. And then the question is, what are you even doing, right? So anyway, it's not so trivial to just to do something like this. The human eye is complicated. How our brain processes colors, how our brain processes everything to give us a full and accurate picture of the world is a bit more complicated than what ChatGPT happens to be doing. It's not that it's not doable with AI, it's just we know that it's not doing that by what I just showed in this video and everything. So yeah. Anyway, that is that. If you have still made it this far, thank you. Thank you for staying. And leave me some comments down below as usual and let me know your thoughts. And if you are still confused about your color type, feel free to take a look around my channel. I really think you would do a better job doing your own color analysis than going to ChatGPT. I really do. So yeah, I have a lot of videos that describe how you can find your best colors and everything like that. You can take a look around and try to do your own color drapings and things like that. You can also, of course, get typed by me through my website. I'll leave a link to that down below. And I will say that body type can sometimes affect color type recommendations. So I have a few videos on that as well if you are interested in that. I think it's like why you don't believe in color analysis, something like that. And that I have a video called Why You Don't Believe in Color Analysis, so you could take a look at that. That's kind of like, I think it's an interesting video. If you're interested in this subject, you may be interested in that video. So yeah, so it's all kind of connected, so I have a color typing service, and if your body type affects your color type enough, like I do mention it in the color typing service, obviously, like I can't just let people walk off just wearing the wrong colors, like I just can't. So I do have a section that kind of like hints, like just says, well, not hints, just says like, I don't tell you your body type, but I do tell you like, look, your body type makes it so that your color recommendations are changed, But if you want the full thing, you have to get the full thing. It's called the full report. That includes the body typing, the color typing, the essence, and everything in between, how they all interact, things like that. But yeah, even if you get the color typing, I do make sure that I send you off with the right colors, obviously. Even if like technically you only bought a color typing, if your body type affects your color recommendations, I will mention it in the color typing. And if it doesn't, then I don't mention anything about your body type, you see. Because not everyone is affected. Not everyone is affected. Like some people, just their body type and their color type have similar color recommendations, so it doesn't ever really come up. So some people are more clear-cut cases, and then there's no point in mentioning like, oh yeah, and then your body type is like fine in terms of like the compatibility with the anyway. So anyway, I think I'm going on and on as usual. As per usual, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. yeah, take a look around my channel. You can do your own color typing. Leave me a comment. Leave some questions down below if you have any questions, and leave me your experiences with ChatGPT. If you have gotten any interesting recommendations from ChatGPT, what happened. And I would really encourage you to take a more critical eye to really everything that you are finding, everything that you find. I think that now is the time to really be a lot more critical of the information that you are exposed to. So some things can be really very believable. Like, I can understand why people would believe that ChatGPT can do color analysis, because there is a lot of hype around AI right now, of course, rightfully so. But also there is this thing where I think AI can be seen as almost magical when it's not. It can't just know everything ever there is to know, or know something beyond what it's really trained to know or capable of knowing. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you next time.